More than 3 decades after the guns fell silent in the Persian Gulf, the battle continues for thousands of veterans, this time against an invisible enemy, Gulf War illness. In a letter dated February 18, 2025, obtained by Newsweek, the Vietnam Veterans of America, or the VVA, called on the Department of Defense to declassify documents related to the 1990 to 1991 Gulf War. The group believes these records may hold key information about toxic exposures, information that could help treat sick veterans today.
We have no idea what's inside these documents. They've never been seen outside of the DoD community. Could they hold evidence that could assist researchers in finding treatment for these sick veterans? It's possible, but they could also offer nothing. However, we feel in the order of transparency that these documents should be released and added to the site the DoD established on the Gulf War back in 1997, so it can act as a permanent repository for everything related to the first Gulf War for future generations to have access to.
At the heart of the concern is the March 1991 demolition of an Iraqi ammunition depot in Khamisiyah. According to the DoD, the event likely released low levels of nerve agents into the air, possibly exposing up to 100,000 US troops. In response, the DoD advised VVA to contact the National Archives and stated that classified materials from 1940 to 2021 had already been submitted. But advocates say that's not good enough. Dr. Beatrice Golomb, professor at the University of California, indicated that roughly a quarter to a third of Gulf War veterans developed chronic, multi-symptom illnesses. These issues haven't gone away, and in many cases, they've worsened, Golomb told Newsweek. In a conversation with Newsweek, Alan Sigmon revealed that he has been left behind despite serving the country.
I began experiencing it in 2005. My head would become hot to the touch, and the pain made me physically ill. After that came the dizziness, crushing fatigue, GI dysfunction, nerve pain, numb extremities, muscle spasms, insomnia, and memory loss. I was falling apart, and no one could tell me why.
Sigmon, who served from 1989 to 1993, was later denied entry into a clinical trial due to a PTSD diagnosis, even though he suffers from Gulf War illness symptoms. A spokesperson for the trial told Newsweek that including PTSD sufferers could compromise study results. But veterans opined that this left many of the most affected without options. The struggle for answers has therefore intensified. Advocacy groups like Veterans for Common Sense are now urging Congress to reinstate targeted medical research funding for Gulf War illness after the FY25 defense bill slashed the budget for the congressionally directed medical research programs by more than half.
As many as 1/3 of the veterans of the 1990-91 Gulf War continue to suffer from GWI, and potentially other veterans and future veterans with similar military toxic exposures. Restoring Gulf War illness research funding is critical, with a clear research pipeline aimed at treatments and prevention. No one should be cutting that funding before finishing the job, developing effective GWI treatments. We should not be abandoning these veterans who are still suffering, mostly in silence.
The Department of Defense told Newsweek that it's continuing to investigate exposures at Khamisiyah and may issue updated health guidance. The agency also reiterated its commitment to working with the Department of Veterans Affairs on care access under the PACT Act. Donald Overton, Executive Director for the Blinded Veterans Association, expressed, "We just don't want to be forgotten." Meanwhile, Dr. Golomb told Newsweek that this is not just about veterans. The science uncovered could benefit anyone exposed to toxic chemicals, which includes millions of people in civilian life too. For the veterans, the fight for answers isn't over. They want the Trump administration to declassify these long-hidden records.